How possible is it that as a party leader, you can turn up for a meeting at State House, expecting your fellow leaders in the political party to show up, and then not a single soul shows up? And so at the State House meeting, as party leader, you're all alone. This is exactly what happened to ODM party leader, newly appointed party leader, after the passing on of founder and leader Raila Amolo Odinga. This is what happened to him, Oburu Odinga. What does this really mean? What is going on within ODM? Actually, there is nothing new under the sun. And something very similar to this has happened before. And so don't you think, if we go back in history to discover when something similar like this happened, we can easily be able to guess what follows? Because it is no small matter when as a party leader you turn up alone for a meeting with your political partners UDA, for a meeting with the government, in fact at State House. It is not a small matter. Okay? Welcome to this show where we dig a little deeper and discover some very surprising things. Karibuni sana. Twende kazi. Even before I share the information I have, just imagine that you're a member, you're a leader of the ODM party. What are some of the reasons that would cause you to miss a meeting with the powers that be at State House? What are some of the reasons? Well, one reason that springs to mind immediately is, as a leader, you're also a politician, you decide that especially because there's going to be a general election, sometime not too distant into the future, you decide to align yourself with the people. And aligning yourself with the people means that you have to be very careful about the perception people have of you. And it is obvious, if you're visiting State House, then you know how people are going to look at you. And therefore you decide to chicken out of that meeting. You don't show up. Actually, the problems within ODM are much deeper than most people imagine. Because it's more than obvious, there is a very spirited fight for the very soul of the political party. And some of the information emerging from this party may be able to help us see some of these factions developing. Indeed, the most explosive information that has come out recently is that widow of Raila Amolo Odinga, the founder and previous party leader, is going to vie for the position of party leader. Hey! Now, make no mistake about it. Ida Odinga, the widow of Raila, is more than qualified to step up. Why? She was the late Raila's confidant. She knows a lot of secrets of the ODM party. She has a lot of information. And she has the energy and vision and what may be required to midwife this party through this very delicate transition period. Now, I hope you see that already with such a move by the late Raila's widow, this is bound to cause the formation of new factions within the ODM party. That is, factions which were not there previously. Because we know that the two major factions that have been so obvious so far are those for the broad-based government and those against the broad-based government. Now we are going to have yet another faction of those fully backing Ida Odinga. And these are the real diehards, the ODM damo, actually the engine and the soul of the ODM party. Naturally, with such major developments unfolding, it now becomes more understandable, at least to me, why some leaders of the ODM party would at the very last minute, because when these meetings are called, there is usually a confirmation process. So and so has confirmed they're coming. Actually, all the leaders have confirmed they're coming. This is the confirmation that must be received before a meeting is held at State House. This is normal protocol. So what happened in this case is that there must have been confirmations before this meeting, and these confirmations were rescinded, cancelled by the particular leaders at the 11th hour, at the very last minute. Now that is very telling. Now let's take a quick trip back in history to a time when something very similar happened. Actually, in the last weeks and months of the existence of the mighty KANU party, before it was defeated in those 2002 general elections, which generally spelled the end of KANU. Please take careful note of the fact that the coalition that won those general elections, especially a party called LDP, had very many big names from KANU within it. Actually, this is what happened shortly before the 2002 general elections, that to me looks very similar, at least what we saw in this botched State House meeting between ODM and UDA. I believe precisely the same thing was happening then. In spite of all the things we say about the mental capabilities of our politicians, the truth is they have the ability to think. And not only that, they have a very sharp survival instinct. I don't think it is possible to survive in politics for any length of time unless you have this survival instinct in politics. Okay? And they realized in the run-up to the election that anybody who supported KANU, anybody who supported the old ways, would not be able to win that general election. So what did they do? They waited until the very last possible minute. I don't remember any big press conferences by any of these big characters announcing that they had jumped ship. No! What they did is that they held their peace. They remained in the shadows, very quiet. And then at the very last minute, they all trooped en masse into a party called LDP. And the person behind this party was, of course, a man called Ida Odinga, who himself had trooped out of KANU earlier. Okay? And obviously they had made the correct political move because they managed to win elections and troop back into parliament very victorious. Fast forward to the present. Don't you think that there are very many politicians within the ODM party who are keenly aware that anybody who supports the broad-based government arrangement will have great difficulties winning any elective post in the next elections? Of course they're there. And it is highly likely that they will do exactly what KANU MPs did in 2002. We also have such characters bang inside the ruling UDA party. Oh yes. And so in my opinion, this latest development, where Oburu Odinga found himself alone at a meeting that was supposed to include other ODM leaders, but he found himself alone in State House with UDA people, this latest incident is very telling and confirms beyond any doubt that currently we only have two general groupings of politicians in Kenya. Those politicians with the system, if I can put it like that, and those politicians who are not with the system. The majority, actually, are politicians who are hiding behind the shadows, ready to jump ship and to join those politicians who are not with the system. That should be very clear. And of course what that means is that it will be very difficult for the system even to manipulate, even to rig elections successfully in 2027 or whenever we will go into the next general election. That is the political reality. Now I've been thinking about those of you who have always very consistently, very faithfully over the years participated in our usual gifting season, which we have now entered because we're in December. The gifting of yours truly. I've been thinking about those people. And I've been saying to myself, lazima nitafute njia ya kurudisha mkono. Okay? A small way in which I can say thank you to them. A small way in which I can tell them, I have seen them, I recognize them, I appreciate them for everything they have done. Because this channel would not be where it is today had it not been for the valuable contributions of these individuals. And so, if you're one of these people I'm talking about, you've made a contribution to this channel, all you have to do is send me an email immediately after you've sent your latest gift. And then you know what I'm going to do? I am going to give you permanent golden key access to everything Kumekucha. And this one is long overdue. Very long overdue. So please rush. So please grab this opportunity, because it is so crazy that it will only last 3 days. It is going to end on the 7th of December, the year of our Lord 2025, at exactly midnight, your time, wherever you are in the world. The only qualification is that you have supported me over the years, or at least you have supported me in the past. That's it. Thank you so much in advance. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.